Hello everyone, welcome to another video. It's the Bookatarian here for another review, and this time I am reviewing Moxie. I've been debating whether to do a spoiler-free only or just all-in-one like I usually do with my book talks. And this time I'm just going to do a spoiler-free review just because I need to keep something simple, and I know that since this is a feminist book that talks all about feminism, so this is just going to be my spoiler-free thoughts on Moxie by I have still yet to know how to pronounce her name, but Jennifer Matteo, I think is how you say it. I don't know. I need to just Google it because this is driving me crazy. So anyway, I read this book and I knew, as soon as I saw it on Goodreads, I knew immediately that I would love it because I am a huge feminist myself and I usually enjoy feminist reads such as this. And so even though it was taking place as like a young adult theme and it's a contemporary as well, so it wasn't going to be all feminism all the time, I still loved it. And one of the things that I don't like about contemporary YA is how the relationships work. You know, they go all through kind of this formulaic pattern, basically, where, you know, they eventually get together at some point in the book, they date for a while, something happens, they go through a rough patch, and you think they might break up, but then you resume, and it's like, oh, this book does it better, where, yes, they do go through that formula, but it is also done very well. That is very realistic situation. 3 different generations of women that you see, kind of, not from their perspective, but you can like see it all from this one family that is the family of the main character. You can see how they were kind of brought up to think about feminism. I can speak words. So yes, I absolutely loved this book. I haven't even summarized what it's about yet. I just realized that. This book is about the main character, who's named Vivian Carter, and she has been brought up by her single mom. Her dad died when she was just a baby, and so her mom moved her back to the small town called East Rock High or something like that. It's a small town in Texas where her mom grew up, and it was the same kind of storyline where, you know, the main character is stuck in a small town and wants to get out because they're feeling suffocated, and so the mom moved away, but then eventually had to move back in order to have her parents help her take care of Vivi while she put herself through nursing school, became a nurse, and had to work long, ungodly shifts at the nursing home or the urgent care clinic that she worked at. And so Vivi, the main character, is at high school, and she knows that there are these traditions that happen at her school that are just really sexist, and the football team is literally the gods of this high school. Everything revolves around them. Like, the whole town literally just revolves around this group of boys, and they can get away with basically murder. There's this thing that they do, and it's not really spoilery, called the bump and grab game. And that it's like kind of a spring awakening season type thing where boys will, you know, hit bump you and then they grope you, basically. Yeah, it's not just the football players doing that, it's a lot of the guys who are very douchey, just in general. Anyways, so Vivi is a very reserved girl who basically does not do anything unexpected. She is not rebellious at all, and it's also often said to her by her grandparents, by her mother, that she is the complete opposite of how her mother was at that age. Her mother was very rebellious, and she had this history of, you know, acting out and rebelling against high school, basically. Lucy Hernandez. She answered a question, basically. That's all she did. She answered a question in English class, and one of the boys said something along, no. And one of the things that the football boys at this high school would do was say this line, "Make me a sandwich," to the girls, their peers at school, in class, in the hallways, anything in school. They say it out loud. And in this particular instance, the quarterback said this to Lucy as she was trying to answer the question in her class. And because they didn't, because the discussion had gotten ruined, they all got extra homework. They all got added extra pages of homework because of one boy's comment. But no, that boy was not held responsible. It was blamed on everyone in the class. So because of this, Vivi is inspired to make this zine. What is called a zine basically was also started by her mom when she was a riot girl. She decided to call it Moxie Girls, or Moxie, I suppose. But her version of the Riot Girls were Moxie Girls for the girls in her school that had experienced sexist comments like "make me a sandwich," the bump and grab game, the horrible behavior of the teachers, favoritism towards the boys' football team. And then so sometimes she has the people who read the zines do little things, like the first one has you draw hearts and stars on your hands to show that you were a Moxie girl and you were a part of this. Such an empowering book. I loved it so much. My only comments were the author seems to have some interesting ways of voicing inclusivity of feminism. She did mention, at the very end, like randomly, all girls, LGBTQ, trans, whatever, all girls are welcome to join Moxie. But aside from a few boys just happening to show up and give their support to some of these events and things that were happening, it was just, there were some events that were hosted directly through the Moxie zine that were saying that only girls were allowed. And it didn't sit with me the right way. It didn't sit well with me that it was just not including boys as well. Boys who want to support feminism and want to support their peers who they know are being suppressed by this administration. And so I don't think the author quite meant for it to be an only girls club, and I get the point as to why they're doing this, because, riot girls, and it's not like they went around kicking the boys who just happened to show support for this group down or anything. That would have been nice to show that, yes, feminism is for everyone, boys included. Friendships and romantic relationships between the main character and her mom actually starts dating again too. Another man, and we got to see the tension between mom and daughter as the daughter's trying to be happy for her mom, but at the same time, she's feeling a little disconnect. And the mother-daughter relationship growth was so good in this book, as well as the friendship between Vivi and her best friend. It was so good. Some of the things were a little bit predictable in here. I could kind of see them coming, but aside from that, it was a really good read. It was about 4.5 stars. I couldn't quite give it the 5 stars because of the whole male feminist issue thing I had with it, but literally everything else I adored about this book. So I highly recommend it. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video soon. Bye.